Good afternoon. Welcome back to We the People show. We got a lot on the agenda today. First, I'm Karina Schmitt, and I want to let everybody know out there here in Charlotte County, we have the general election on November 3rd. And in District 4 for Commissioner, Michael Melton is running against Kim Amontree. Michael Melton, we had him on the show yesterday. He is an NPA, a non-party affiliate, a libertarian running against a registered conservative or registered Republican, I should say, pardon me, Kim Amontree. We have sent an invitation out to both of the candidates, inviting them to a debate that would be hosted by We the People Club and the Charlotte County Trump Club. We have so far heard back from Michael Melton. He has accepted any day that we would set this for, which would be the last week of September. That would be between the 21st and the 26th. The same invitation has gone out to Ms. Amontri, and we have not heard back from her yet. So that is the news today for that. On my show today, I have the pleasure of inviting back and hosting here with Mike Essen, South Florida's conservative voice. How you doing, Mike?
Pleasure to be on. I'm doing great, Korean. Thank you.
Great. Mike, we had some sad news yesterday. One of America's absolute most stunning performers of all times, I think, in the female genre, Dolly Parton passed away. What was your reaction to that? 80 years old, an amazing woman.
I was struck and very sad about it, Karina, for a few reasons. First of all, this is one of the most personable celebrities since Audrey Hepburn. And it's not just the charity work, which was great enough. She was to Dollywood, which is her organization, helped a lot of children's charities, children's hospitals, but she never felt like she was above people. She reminds me of Selena Gomez, which is why I have a lot of respect for her in this way. They treat their fans better and they give them more credit than they give themselves. I think for that, I admire her. I loved her entertainment as well, like her music. I love songs like Islands in the Stream with Kenny Rogers, 9 to 5. My favorite, Here You Come Again, Jolene is a good song. And some of the movies, I love Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. I've seen that many times. I confess I
That
saw
is
the
a
Hannah Montana
that's
movie.
a
She did a really good
very
job in that.
that's a very funny movie. It
It
is,
is.
I mean, it's a great storyline. It has amazing actors
Even
in
Burt
there.
was good. I don't usually
And
like
it's
him, but
so
he's
entertaining and wholesome.
it is.
It
And
is
Hannah
I
Montana,
would
I mentioned, and Steel Magnolias. I don't remember 9 to 5 vividly, but I remember seeing it. But she really was good. She was so universally talented,
she's
so
very good in
kind, and,
Steel
and I didn't
Magnolia.
expect it. She was only 80, which isn't, it's old, but not old today, if you know
It's
what
not
I'm
that
saying.
old
It's not
for
that old in
today.
today's world. It's
What
just
would
so
you
saddening, a good human being, an elegant actress. I compare to Audrey Hepburn, Selena Gomez, and even Jennifer Garner, someone like that who's so down to earth. It's a
what would
sad
you
day to
say
have her.
is one of your all-time favorite songs with Dolly Parton?
I would say Here You Come Again because it's just such an upbeat, wonderful song. Which is all you got to do is smile and smile. I smile
It's
and
a
feel good
beautiful
every time I hear
song.
that song. I
It
love
is.
that song.
I think mine is actually Jolene.
Good
And
one.
then I remember growing up in Denmark, my mother used to listen to Johnny Cash and Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers. She would play nonstop sometimes. The one she did with Kenny Rogers, Islands in this.
Islands in the Stream, yes.
It's a fabulous song. It really is. And she would play that over and over and over. I'm gonna put links to those songs in the description here so everybody can go back and just check them out. There's some good versions for Jolene, a live version that she did in, I want to say it was 1988 or 1980 or so. Now, the song itself is from 1973, if I'm not mistaken. And she actually tells the story. It's a live version of it. I'm going to put it in the description so everybody out there can go back and listen to it. It's a live version, and she introduces the story behind the song, which I thought was kind of funny. this lady at the bank that was, I guess, hitting on her husband or her boyfriend at the time. I don't know if they were married at that point yet, but she had such an amazing, jolly, still sweet way of introducing what was actually a really bad experience in her life. You know, somebody's trying to take
What a storyteller.
your loved one, right?
Mhm.
When was the first time you started listening to her?
I would say when I knew for about when I was 7 or 8, a little before 9 to 5 came out when she was singing these songs. And I liked her immediately because there's more than just, there's a joyfulness to her voice and to her appearance and to her interviews that I really wish more stars would take to today. So many people think they're too good for people. They don't give autographs. The other person who reminds me of her is, Emma Watson from the Harry Potter series, right?
Yeah.
Emma Watson has this lovely down to earth style where she puts her fans first. She never forgets where she came from. Dolly Parton is, I mentioned Audrey Hepburn, Selena Gomez, Jennifer Garner, and Emma Watson, but not many stars are like that. So many stars think they're above people. They don't give autographs. Leave me alone, kid. That's what Milton Berle told my dad when my dad was
They
younger.
do want people's
And
money though.
they want their money, but they won't give their autographs.
Yeah, it's like
And
they want their money, but they put up this wall between them and their fans instead of just, treating people
welcoming them.
everybody is the same, right? I mean, that's even the
Yes. Time they
fundamentals of this
bleed.
country, right?
Yeah, with the one family got on time, the whole spiel. But
Exactly.
but even from an entertainment standpoint, she was so multi-talented. Not everybody can act and sing. I mean, you got people like Barbara Streisand, who was in some good and bad movies. It's a mixture, but she sings very well.
Yes.
You have
She's been
people
in
like
a
Neil
few good
Diamond, who's
movies
a
too.
terrible actor. What?
Barbara Streisand, amazing voice. As far as a singer, she's incredible. Politically, I don't even
Yes.
want to get into that. She has been in some really good
No,
movies, though.
I won't hold that against her.
Yeah, she's been in some really good movies, though. You
Yes, the
have,
worst being the main event. I hated that movie, The Passion, but she was good in What's Up, Doc, and The Way We Were. I didn't like Yentl very much because you never were convinced that she was really a man in that movie, but
you know,
I like the earlier movies better.
I liked her in what was that movie called? Meet the Fockers. Her and
She was the
Dustin
best thing in that
Hoffman
movie. I didn't
together
like, yes,
were
mhm,
fabulous. They were fabulous.
yes,
And, it sort of made me think of Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds when they teamed up in the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. I mean, they were
mhm.
so natural, so funny. Their dynamics were amazing. I think that's one of the things, or out of millions of things, that we're going to remember Dolly Parton for because she's an American legend. I mean, her name is not going to go away. She's going to be
No,
remembered
just like an
for,
example. Recently, we lost Chuck Norris, a wonderful human being and a fun
yes,
actor to watch. He's not Humphrey Bogart or Robert Duvall, but he was such a humanitarian in so many ways and such a fun actor to watch. I loved the Delta Force. I loved the Missing in Action. I didn't like the second one so much, but I like the first one. I mean, he does have the singing voice and the look she does, but
but
there's that
talent.
human touch to them that I really like. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And even, he's still with us. Dustin Hoffman, an amazing
Mm.
one as well. I mean, he can almost go in and play any role. If you
He has
remember back
range.
to when he did Rain Man,
That
he
was one of the
was,
best performances ever.
I, I
Psychologists
hands
said
down
that
think so too.
performance
But
was frighteningly real in autism. Go ahead.
he was amazing in Rain Man, but he was also incredibly good in Outbreak. And if you think about how
Mhm.
Outbreak almost predicted some of the things that happened during COVID, he did a fabulous job in that movie. He really
He
was
did.
convincing,
I'll
and
mention
he's
two
very
others just in
natural,
case
very
people
natural.
want
I
to rent
love Dustin
something.
Hoffman.
Yeah, Kramer
Absolutely.
versus Kramer, great movie. Finding Neverland, he doesn't get
Yes.
enough credit for the role he played about Peter Pan. My favorite Johnny Depp movie ever. Please rent
Yeah,
those.
that's
And
right.
don't
I
see a star,
forget
please. Don't see a star.
Hook was awesome. He was
What was?
Hook, the Peter Pan movie.
Oh yes,
He was
he was Captain
fabulous.
Hook in that movie. Yes, I love that
He
story.
really was. Dolly Parton did a show. a few years ago, and I can't remember if that was on Netflix or whatever, but she took her songs, and each episode was related to one of her songs. That was really incredible too. Very educational in terms of like the
Hmm.
behind the scenes story of her music. So now she's going to be remembered for a long time, that's for sure.
Yes, I
Yes.
will miss her, and so will you, so will the world
I
actually.
think millions of people will miss her for sure.
And one thing I hope,
So,
Karina, is I mentioned young actresses. I take away Selena Gomez, Emma Watson's politics. I don't hold it against them, but they're wonderful. They seem like wonderful human beings. Jennifer Garner, I mentioned. Audrey Hepburn's no longer with us, but she was as lovely as they come. I wish people would take Dolly Parton, all five of them, as examples that you're not better than everybody. You just have a talent. You do what
yeah.
you love doing, but without the fans, you wouldn't have that job. I wish people would learn, young and older stars alike, would learn from those 5.
Be a little bit more humble maybe in how
Mm-hmm.
they carry themselves. I think you can say that for Keanu Reeves. He
Mm-hmm.
seems to be a very nice, down-to-earth person when you hear
Mm-hmm.
stories about how he conduct himself, on a daily basis.
He does.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be one of these stuck-up um, stars that have an absolutely inflated self-image, which I can't deal with that. I'm sorry. I have no respect for that. You know,
No, people
don't.
have talents in the public eye doesn't mean you're better. It means you have a talent.
Yeah, I
People,
agree. Absolutely.
and I have to
I
say this:
saw
I
something.
love movies, but I'm not saying Jonas Salk did more than all put together. I'm about to say that one.
Yeah. So, Mike, this is a little bit of an unusual show we're doing today because of what had just happened. You watched the news this morning too, and the
Mm-hmm.
videos of these Chinese robot Olympics. Now, I must say, I've never really been into the Olympics. Nothing bores me more than watching the Olympics. It's so serious, but I feel like it's also turned political. And then this morning I turned on the TV, and my first reaction was, what the hell is this? Have they completely lost their minds? And then I realized what was going on. It was these robots fighting Thai boxing or kickboxing at the Chinese Robot Olympics. I sent the video to you. What was your reaction when you saw it?
I was laughing a lot, but scared about AI at the same time. I want to share that with you.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
hilarious to watch. It's hilarious. I agree. The Olympics and soccer are the two most boring games in the world. There's more important things in life like baseball. But regardless of putting that aside, though, AI is taking over everything so much that it's almost like we're beyond the Jetsons age now. People aren't talking to each other. They're not working in
Yeah.
places. I hate that. Though I don't get, I don't get a vote, but I think it's very scary. However, in this case, I like it because it's hilarious. We all need a good laugh. Laughter helps the endorphins. It's almost as funny as seeing the midgets wrestle or the women or mud
I
wrestling.
know.
We need some humor in the Olympics. It's
It
torturous. And
was
soccer to
funny.
me, like soccer
And
to me, is you go
I'm
back
gonna
and forth, 0-0.
I'm
That's
gonna
the
put
Olympics. Is that bad?
a couple of those links too in the description here. I brought the videos or showed the videos to my boss at work, and
Mm-hmm.
I've shown it to some other people too. Talked to, by the way, Paul Newman. He's over at Port Charlotte Auto Repair in
Mm.
Port Charlotte. I showed him a couple of the videos today. He was laughing at his butt off. By the way, that's a really good place to go to have your cars fixed. I to get mine taken care of there, get my oil changes, tires done, brakes and so on. Very good. And you're going to be meeting Gina, his dog, as well. She's the sweetest thing. But going back to the Chinese robots, it is really incredible that with the technology that we have today, they can literally put together a whole Olympics games. I mean, it is soccer, which was hilarious. It wasn't as many players as the normal soccer game would have. It was, I think there was like 5 players on each team, but it's it's really entertaining to watch these people
Mm-hmm.
or these robots run around. And but the kickboxing was really the best one, especially when they get disoriented and have no clue where one robot is contra the other.
Yeah, they're looking for them. They're attacking them. This is, I mean, this is funny as a Mel Brooks movie. It's hysterical.
It really is. Do you remember an older kids movie called Robots?
Yes, I do.
What did you think about that when you saw these
I
Chinese?
didn't actually, but now I think it's a great parallel. It's very similar.
Yeah, you think about how progressed our society is. I mean, it's
It's
entertaining
yeah,
when you
yeah, and that
watch
was a
this,
movie
but
that's talking about the future. It's almost like you watch movies like Back to the Future 2 or movies about robots in the future, and we're further than they even imagined this being. Maybe you don't
right.
have flying cars now, but we have talking robots like did you remember Jetsons Rosie in that show?
Yeah.
We're really it's scary to me. I mean, the only good thing about it is modern medicine is getting so advanced. They're probably not going to kids to study soon. They'll give them a pill. They'll become an attorney. I mean, it's getting
It,
really out of hand. But
there's something else that it made me think of during the day before we did this show here, and that's the old movie with Robin Williams, Bicentennial Man, I
I
think it
love
was
that movie.
called.
Yes, yes,
Fabulous movie. He was, by the way, one of my favorite actors. He was so awesome in
so
so many
wonderful.
movies. But if we talk about this movie for a little bit, it really um it has the narrative of where we may be in, I don't know, 20 years maybe. I don't think we're that far away from a time when robots are taking over our daily lives and becoming our friends. They're implementing AI nurses, AI tutors in public schools, which I'm completely against. I really don't like that. We've already seen suicides from the use of AI nurses in schools. What do you think about
Mhm.
that?
I don't like it either because a robot or a computer cannot replace a real human being. They can't. They collect information on the spot. They can't. They don't have the heart or the ability to change their mind at the moment or come up with a new suggestion or ask a third party. I really don't like the AI takeover whatsoever, and I kind of like human connections.
I do too. I do too. I think there's some advantages to AI to a certain extent, but at some point also I fear that at some point it's going to take over and we lose control. They sort of hinted to that a little bit in Terminator 2, which by the way is probably one of the best action movies I've ever
It was
watched.
better than the original, I thought. Even I liked it a lot.
Yes, and that, well, part of that is because of the technology that was used in the second one. I think the storyline
Mhm.
is also better in the second one, but the first
I
one is
agree.
a really good prequel. And Linda Hamilton, she did a really good job in both of them.
Sarah
She
Connor,
did.
she did a wonderful job, and Edward
She is
Furlong, the
a
second one,
she's a
did great
great actor.
too.
But if we start thinking about the character of, well, both are Terminators, but the bad cop in Terminator 2, it's amazing, isn't it? What
Mhm.
they're predicting robots can do in the future. And perhaps you can say the same thing about RoboCop that came out in, I think it was the late 80s or so.
A7, A7.
Was that from 87? Okay.
Yeah,
Um, if you think back on RoboCop and where we are today with the ability for the military to implement robots and for law enforcement, I think as well. What do you think?
I don't like it. Like just like the nurses in school, they can't change their mind the spur of the moment. They don't have a human heart or human connection. Information is wrong. Computers have made mistakes. I think it's a terrible idea. I wish there was a way we could stop it, but there's people fighting it, and I know one person in particular.
I don't like it either. Do you think our current law enforcement today is becoming a little bit too disconnected from being humans? They are really servants of us. I mean, they are on our payroll in the first place. It's not supposed to
Yes,
be an,
because they're. I'll tell you why I think they are. And I'm a supporter of them. I think people wanted to fund them and to demolish them as insane, but I think that there's a power trip going on with a lot of people in power, not just them, but when they're on power trips, watch out. And I hate the blue wall silence mentality. I don't believe protecting anybody doesn't deserve protection. All you got to say if you don't agree with a fellow cop is, I like the guy, but I don't agree with it. They will not do it. They will protect him to the end. That's how people get back in foster homes. That's how people get beaten again. It's a very sick mentality they have for that.
I agree. I think we need to put pressure on our legislators to give power back to the people and not give, like, for example, I'll tell you from the campaign here in Charlotte County, Kim Amontree stated that she would give whatever law enforcement would need.
Oh
That
no.
statement scares the heck out of me. And while it may on the surface sound good, oh yeah, I'll give whatever resources law enforcement needs, it sends a really bad signal if you think about it a little bit further of her policies or somebody like that, their policies in terms of control of people, control of society, and robbing people of their fundamental rights or their constitutional rights, because law enforcement is not supposed to be a boundless government power. We're supposed to have limited government, not boundless. Your points or your
And the
perspective.
thing is, she's fighting her own. She's claiming to be a conservative. The conservatives, though, they want a law enforcement. They don't want. They want as little government as possible, unless it's necessary to have. And
Uh,
so, and the people is who you're representing, and the cops can be very abusive.
oh,
I've heard
absolutely.
stories. I know friends who when they are in power trips. I've had mostly positive experiences with them. Watch out. I mean, they beaten people, they framed them. I mean, to say you support them if they did that is stupid, insane. And
I agree.
maybe I mean, people make mistakes. They should be called out. It's like teachers. There's bad teachers. There's bad therapists who are abusive. There's bad attorneys. To say you support, imagine you say support
Bad
attorneys,
judges.
teachers, even if they beat people. That would be stupid, is what Kim Amontree's saying.
Well, it made me question if somebody, whether it's her or it's any other legislator that says, "Oh, I'll give whatever resources law enforcement needs, I will give them whatever money they want and whatever equipment they want." It makes me wonder, are they really Republicans? Because somebody that is truly conservative would not have that perspective. That's a Marxist perspective. And I think we should watch out for legislators, no matter what level of government they are at, for somebody that will give unlimited power rather than understanding the fundamentals of a limited government. Unlimited is bad. That's bad news for us. It also means that they're going to increase our taxes for whatever crazy idea they come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Your perspective.
Sounds like a police state, not policemen. I mean, it's.
I agree.
I did a recent blog on your wonderful post about progressive Republicans who are beyond rhinos. This Kim
Yeah,
Amontreee
and
and many
just
people
I want
like
to make sure we mention for people to go on We the People CC.org to read Mike's blogs as well, and also, of course, read my blogs and Dr. Pitt's. They're very good. Mike has a really good point. Talk about that for a little bit, please.
sure, when liberal Republicans or progressive Republicans are nothing new. They go back to Rockefeller, a little Weicker, the Jacob Javits, but there's people now like Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins voted against every judge President Trump appoints. People like Maria Salazar, there's never been an amnesty bill she didn't like. She was the January 6th committee. She's for gun control. People ask me a lot, are they better liberal Republicans, not moderates? Are they better than Democrats? In some ways, they're worse because they're wolf in sheep's clothing and they're trying to infiltrate the party and make it a uniparty. I find that very disgusting. Even groups like the Log Cabin Republicans want the LGBT agenda, leftist LGBT agenda in the Republican Party. I don't like that at all.
I agree. I think it's something people need to wake up to. Um, some final thoughts from you before we end the show, Mike? What do you
Sure,
have
Karina. First of all,
what would you
oh,
like to share with us?
thank you. First of all, rest in peace, Dolly Parton. It was a wonderful tribute. I
Yes.
want to say that I really think we need to make more human connections, encourage our kids not to sit next to each other and text and not talk, but go outside and play like I used to in the old days. I remember those days very well, 45 or 40 years ago, or what have you, and do things together. Go to the movies, not just text at home. Go play basketball outside, get fresh air, and have dates, have human connections, not just do it online, but meet people in person. We need to go back to we need to go back to humanized, humanistic connections and
Human
physical touch.
conversations.
Conversations, exactly like we
Yes.
do
You
on
know
this
what
show.
makes me nuts? And we're totally off any kind of script here. We don't do scripted shows on We the
I like
People.
that.
We don't have, a scroll text that we read from at all. You know what
Mhm.
makes me nuts is when I go to a restaurant with my kids. I mean, first of all, when we sit at the dinner table, whether it's at home or we go out, the cell phones are banned. We just don't do that. I can't stand when people sit with their cell phones and it's like right in their face. You have a group of four people, a family, and all four of them, kids and adults, are on their phones. It's like, why did you go out to dinner in the first place? Or people go on a date and they sit on their cell phones. I mean, what are you thinking? Why are you even there in the first place? You could have ordered takeout. What's your perspective?
I'm glad you have that policy with your kids. I wish other people would too.
Oh,
You're
it's
there
totally
to
banned.
connect. You were there to connect. You were there to share. You were there to
Yeah.
love. You're even there to hate sometimes, but you're not there to talk to other people through texting or look at your YouTube
You
app or
don't
your
need to
Wi-Fi app. It's
you
antisocial
don't
and,
need to check your
and it's
email
hurting our
while you're at
country.
dinner.
No, if I'm there alone, I might, but never with other people. No, that can wait. Anybody can wait.
Exactly. I also can't stand, this makes me nuts too, when I watch a mother with her kid in the stroller and the kid is probably like a year or 3 years old, that that infant stage, and they are sitting there in the stroller with an iPad or a cell phone, completely catatonic, while the mother's walking around talking to somebody else. You know what my thought is, and people are gonna probably dislike me for saying that, but I can handle that. I got broad shoulders. Look at me. Um, no, but it makes me wonder, why did she have this kid in the first place? If you're out with your baby, and I always did this with mine, they were in the stroller and I was talking to them about all sorts of stuff. Look at the colors, look at this in the window, blah, 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 or just walking with our dog. No cell phones, no
It
iPad.
reminds me of the family shows I've
We
seen,
don't even
Karina,
have
like
an
where
iPad
people.
in my house. I'm not joking you. We don't have an iPad.
I don't blame you. I remember a sitcom. I don't remember. I've seen several sitcoms where they switched the baby. I think it was Step by Step with Patrick Duffy, where they lost the baby and switched it for somebody else. That's neglect. These people are as bad as Patrick Duffy. It's a fictional show. People laughed at it because it was so bizarre. Comedy has become reality, and that can easily happen. And if they lose the baby, they should be charged with child neglect for doing that. It's sickening.
I absolutely agree. And going back to the late Dolly Parton, God bless her for all the things that she has
Mm.
done. I doubt that she would allow that too, because she was such a down to earth person and with so many human connections. I doubt she would have supported that either. She was big into encouraging reading as well. She has donated millions and millions of books to young children from, a year old to 5 years old, and I think that was beautiful of her. I'm a
That
big
was. I really
supporter of
appreciate that for them.
reading and encouraging my kids to read as well, and I encourage people to read. In fact, I don't know if I told you that, Mike, but when we do the We the People club meetings on the first Monday of the month at Mission Barbecue in Port Charlotte, we always have a raffle for a book. And it's not, even though I love Jane Austen, I like reading fiction as well occasionally when I have time to do it. Most of what I read is nonfiction, but it's always a nonfiction book that we raffle away, and it's been quite successful
Mhm.
that we've been doing that. Every single meeting we do that. Any final
Excellent.
thoughts from you before we round up today's show, Mike? Good to have you
I
back.
just want to promote in case anyone wants to see any of my old podcasts or me on YouTube, go to the Mike Essen show, or you can look at Mike Essen where I make speeches. I want to thank you, Karina. This is a wonderful show. I've enjoyed your podcast. I look forward to being back.
I look forward to having you back too. It's great that we can do these weekly shows whenever we have the opportunity to do so. And
Thank
to
you.
everybody out there, make sure that you go on YouTube, look up the Mike Essen Show. Really good topics that he talks about. Also, go back and make sure you like and subscribe, not just to Mike Essen's channel, of course, but also to the We the People CC YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and share, 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 because sharing gets the word out there. You don't know what other people would like. It might just be something useful in them. And also, going back, I want to encourage people to, if you have any issues with your car, go to Port Charlotte Auto Repair. I'm going to put the phone number and the link in the description here. Port Charlotte Auto Repair, excellent place to have your brakes done, or if you need anything with your air condition, whatever it might be. I look forward to seeing everybody very soon. Mike Essen, what a pleasure to have you
Thank
on. Thank
you.
you so much for talking with us today. Take care.
My pleasure.